Now then, let's begin. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Also, I'm on iPad, so it'll be like 20-ish seconds behind. Okay, good to know.
Oh well, who cares about this boring explanation? Let's get on with it already!
Sorry, texting my landlord.
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Wow, rude.
Empty head? Huh. What's wrong with that? Listen up! The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
Wow, Fuyuhiko has gotten some, like, ASMR, like, whisper tones here that I'm not used to hearing from him.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms.
I feel like it was more pronounced because I'm wearing headphones, and it's like pumping Fuyuhiko seducing me directly into my ears.
We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course.
God, you know, the internet loves Nagito. I don't get it.
I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. The only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital.
I like Nagito, I think, because I know he has something more to him, so it just makes him more interesting. Also, you gave him a cool voice, so it's your fault.
Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
That latest Fuyuhiko dialogue wasn't as ASMR-y to me. It wasn't, like, whispery enough, I think.
Various ways?
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
Yeah, it's not whispery enough. It was just that one phrase where he's like, and then we walked over to the ba-da-ba-da-ba.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the four of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyogo's. And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
I think it's still better than his yelling. That's true. More putting clothes away.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
I mean, he's got a point there.
I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious. Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
I mean, that is very true.
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
It's just as Kazuichi said, Nagito's the kind of guy who will just confuse us and make matters worse. I mean, not necessarily, because in the universe, I am not actually the protagonist, so like, as far as anyone else knows, I'm just another one of the students that could have murdered him. Damn it, I shouldn't have explained it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. Movie's invitation ticket. That's probably why Nagito said to hold on to that to prove her innocence.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I hate how
I don't think I can deny that possibility.
The purple text...
After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Doesn't have the same amount of health each time.
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault.
Oh yeah, so he wants us to prove our innocence, which is why he's bringing it up and then told us to keep the ticket so that we can present it. Anyway, I hate how the purple text is not always the same amount of shots to kill it, and there's no indication as far as I can tell how many times you have to shoot it. So I'm like super careful of pressing it a lot, because if you hit the white text behind, then you lose like 15 seconds. I don't like it. I'm not the killer. There should be a contradiction somewhere. I need to find it and break the...
Hajime's testimony.
If Hajime's... Then the fact that Ibuki...
That would also...
I don't think I can... After all...
Why would Hajime...
Well, obviously...
Did Hajime...
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie...
No, that's wrong! I'm not the killer! I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that. Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it.
Unless someone told me about the movie, and then I just imitated it.
Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
Hold on a sec! You're the one who brought this up in the first place!
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two! Sonia and Kazuichi!
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru.
This is all incorrect. Hiyoko died first.
Me too!
Hey, why are you talking like... Huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
You're not allowed to re anymore, by the way, since you're dead.
Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
And the heat, like you said, melts the glue and reveals Hiyoko behind the wallpaper or whatever. The killer was inside the music venue. Fuyuhiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it?
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside,
Wait,
they tried to keep us from getting in.
the door wasn't locked and you know that.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door?
Oh,
That
he's
door
using...
should not have had a lock.
Okay, he's using locked in a more
The lock
general
was on the
sense.
floor in front of the door.
Okay, that's what he's saying. Okay.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
A person's remark contradicts the truth. I should be able to prove that with my evidence.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
Okay. I expected him to have something I could contradict, but I need to look at this again. So Akane says broken drumstick, but it's in blue, so I can only agree with her, so it can't be that.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside,
Is it this? That shouldn't be it,
They
because the
tried to
door
keep
is
us
locked
from
from the
getting in.
inside. If they're using locks in
It
a general
seems they were
sense.
trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
Maybe it's stall for
The
time.
lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door.
Yeah, and then
By
this,
doing that,
he
they
doesn't say
waited till
anything
we
I can
got- and
interrupt.
suddenly appeared.
So they look like they...
I have seen this in
Okay,
serial crime
maybe
dramas.
it is Gundam. Maybe it's they're not stalling for time. They're
The killer was still inside the music. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
oh my god. Oh my god. It's not even right. What are you trying to say, Fiend? They transform the crime. Oh, they transform the crime scene into a closed room to buy more time. If that's wrong, present your proof.
Damn it!
I messed up. I should be able to. I should think about this one more time.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
We're not
You
talking
can
about
use
the
that
broken
as a bolt to
drumstick.
lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside
But he
waited
doesn't
till we
say
gathered
anything I can
and suddenly
interrupt.
appeared.
So they look like they had just...
I have seen this in
Neither
serial
does she.
crime dramas.
Okay, back to basics. Who says something I
The
can?
killer
back
was
to it?
still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside,
They
they
was.
tried to keep us from getting in.
Maybe
It
I'm
seems
supposed
they were
to.
trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
Okay,
The lock
to
was on the
interrupt,
floor in front of the door.
from the inside.
Are you talking about the broken...
You can use that as a... By doing that, the killer waited till we got... And suddenly...
So they look like they...
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
Step if I use glove on from the
The
inside.
killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the... No, that's
really
wrong.
what you wanted. I don't like that.
Hold on a second. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
I'm cutting out slightly. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the semi-transparent glob to contradict outside, because you could have still done that while you were on the inside. I don't know. I mean, like, I know what they're going for, but I just feel like it's not a strict one-to-one branch of logic.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
I mean, but this is from the game that wants you to use a swimsuit to explain how someone got hit in the head. It wasn't rubber at all. That semi-transparent glob was probably...
I see!
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly.
But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose?
How does this interact with the no littering policy? If Peko had to recycle the bottles of water that she used to shower herself, how could you get away with putting a broken drumstick on the floor? I mean, I guess maybe you could argue if it's indoors, it's not really... actually, you know what? No. See, probably what it is that it's littering if it's outside. So Peko couldn't take the bottles outside and hide them in the bushes, but she could probably, like, strew them on the storage room floor and just consider that, like, mess rather than littering. But probably she thought the least... the least suspicious thing would be to put the bottles in the recycling bin instead of, like, throwing them on the storage room floor. But I still feel like it'd be better just throw them on the storage room floor and cover it with something. No, they broke it. It was in the handles until they kicked the door, right?
Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
Wow.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
It was in the handles until they kicked the door, right? So it wasn't littering, or it wasn't until they broke the door. I think what they're saying with the glue is that they broke the drumstick ahead of time and put it on the ground and then glued the door shut on the outside so that we would think when we broke open the door that we broke the drumstick, but really we were just breaking the glue, and we would see the drumstick and assume that they were still inside. I think that's what they're going for.
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
But then again, I mean, the littering thing might just be it doesn't count if it's inside, because then, like, what if you were taking a drink and then I don't know, or like eating something and then like a wrapper fell on the ground and you didn't pick it up, like they're probably not going to execute you if you don't notice it or something. So maybe it's just they can't, like, take stuff out of the room and throw stuff in there, which, you know, is all the more reason to maybe kill someone outdoors so that the murder weapon naturally falls in the bushes and then, like, drag their body with a wheelbarrow somewhere else. I don't know. So you're technically not littering because you're just killing someone. And I mean, does that count? Would that still count as littering? Would Monokuma kill you for killing someone outside? I don't know.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right?
I need, like, a 30-minute cartoon special of a character summoning Monokuma and, like, going through all of the different rules and being like, if I kill someone outside, what am I allowed to do? Does it count as littering if I, you know, hit someone with a baseball bat and then in the process drop the baseball bat into the bushes in one fell swoop? Does that count? And then I want, like, Monokuma to rules lawyer everything.
But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
I'd be like, fuck you, Thayer, tell me what shit you're gonna pull so I can do this right without you ruining it. That scrap that was stuck in the baton lighting in the music venue. Now, I should be able to figure out what it is. Aw, damn, I was hoping it'd be the surfing one. Oh, okay, I know what it is. Please, just a little bit faster. Can I speed the— oh, I can speed this up by pressing E. Oh god! Oh, Jesus. Oh my god. Just give me what I need. Oh my god, could you just... I need a P. I need the letter P. One of these... Oh, now I have 3 sets... Now I have 4 sets of P's. Thank you very much. Oh my god, no, I lost that E. Fuck. Why is this controller so slow? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. I'm so disoriented on which one I have. Okay. That was a disaster. At some point I forgot whether I was holding something or about to shoot it, or whether I was picking something up, so I was just destroying everything.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there?
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper... See? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hiyoko's body disappearing?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
That scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was part of that wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hiyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, the answer should become clear. Alright, let's give this a try. Give me a minute, everyone. I have to pretend I'm surfing. Over the control? Okay, please jump. Oh! Did I not jump? That's dragging me left. Don't drag me left, controller, don't drag me left. I'm gonna get such a bad score on this case, and... Why did Hiyoko's body suddenly appear at the crime scene? Why did the killer use to hide her body, the wallpaper? I don't know what those yellow tiles do. How did the killer hide her body? They covered the pillar.
It's all coming together! I got it! Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
Did he say mothballs? Or mossballs?
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason that the killer imitated the two victims in the movie, I should be able to explain that now. To mix up the killing order.
I see! The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
OMG, okay, most clothes are done. I did all my laundry, so when I get back I can focus on a house stuff before you get here. Bahaha. I just realized maybe I shouldn't have done a checked bag. I'm back Wednesday. Well, why not a checked bag? Oh, it costs $30 for a checked bag? Ooh. Oh yeah, that's kind of rough. I'm probably going to bring a small bag, a small carry-on bag too, because I probably just should. But part of me is like, I might be able to fit everything in one backpack or one bag, because really I just need to bring clothes and 2 laptops for work. But I'm like, okay, I will probably, it's probably a good idea for me to just bring a bag too. I hate going through TSA, and I hate taking out, I hate taking out my laptops and stuff. I hate taking out a single laptop because I get so like anxious about like, oh god, I'm like, I don't want to hold people up, or like, what if I can't move fast enough or whatever, even though I never actually take that long, and I'm not bringing contacts this time because I just wear glasses all the time. Like maybe I'll bring a couple contacts, I don't know, just in case. But But yeah, so I hate it. So I never want to do it, which is a lot of the reason why I'm just like, let me just bring one bag so I don't feel like I'm fumbling with a bunch of different things and I'm like worried and I take my shoes off and I'm like, oh god, everyone's gonna hate me. But now that I have 2 laptops that I need to bring, that's annoying. I need to figure out like, god.
Then Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
I mean, honestly, I probably don't need to bring contacts. Because I wear day contacts now every once in a while, but honestly, I mostly wear day contacts to do drag. So I don't need to, I'm not doing that while I'm there, so I don't need to worry about it. And then if I don't bring contacts, then I don't have to worry about liquids either. So I don't have to deal with that either, and then I can just wear glasses every day. But I don't know. I always have my laptops, iPad, battery, switch camera batteries, along with computers, parts that one time. God, that sounds terrible. Yeah, I need to decide. I need to decide what I'm doing about the Switch. I might like leave the Switch with my mom if she wants to play while I'm gone. But then part of me is like, God, that's gonna be like right when the Animal Crossing update hits, and I don't mind waiting normally, but like if my mom plays it, is she gonna see all of the new dialogue and do all the stuff first? Because I don't like, I want to see all that dialogue and I want to buy the stuff. So can mom hold on a second and not look at all the new stuff and exhaust that dialogue, or buy all the new stuff first? I don't know. I will see. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, also, random. Speaking of makeup, though, if you come back in December, I think we should do makeup day. I think that'd be fun. Because like I know that like Laura and Jason won't be there, and they mentioned at some point like it'd be fun to do makeup stuff. But I feel like it'd be fun, and Dane does makeup only whenever I tell him we should do makeup together. But yeah, no, I think that'd be fun to do something creative.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
TBD independent on December plans. I'd like to come back when Mama's making it sound like they may come here. Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever ends up working out.
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Also, a lot of people like Gundam, so...
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
I like how instead of Chiaki just saying what's happening, she's like setting it up for me to spike, but really she should just say what's going on because she's the one making this argument.
You're one to talk.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just going to talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko is killed. Blood on the souls. There we go. Thank you for just landing on it.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence!
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Yes, so that's what we need.
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, 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 I say! It doesn't even pierce my heart!
That's what I'm gonna write on student papers in the future. It doesn't even pierce my heart. Chiaki said Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed, but is that really true?
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were...
I am telling you to present your evidence!
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
I agree with that. Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye! Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line.
Wow, Gundam is also going for ASMR.
But, are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status.
Gundam has been too obvious, I feel like, wow.
However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Most normal sounding line he's done, yeah.
You're saying the blood on
the floor.
Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. Did you see a nice nightmare?
Despite his exaggerated protests, I feel like I've already seen an opening to counter. Is this
You're
a
saying
trap?
the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words! That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Yo.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
It's Gundam or Princess Girl.
The time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yup. Since we have all this evidence,
Wait.
there's no one else who wants to object, right?
What am I waiting for? It can't just be Gundam, can it? Too easy. Mad face.
Then it's decided. Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying it can't be Gundam. Blarg.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma
Maybe
first.
it is. Maybe it's not. Who knows?
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Huh. Suicide?
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hiyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hiyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hiyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Unless the first body hanging was Hiyoko. And then, in the 10 minutes afterwards, she took down Hiyoko, tied her up, put the bag on her own head, then went up the stairs and hanged herself. It's totally what happened.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself. Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
Unless it melted. Unless what melted? The pillar? Because the pillar was just the wallpaper that they found in the storage room.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind.
Oh yeah, that was stickers. I keep thinking the heat melts glue, and glue was used everywhere. Oh, I see.
If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh? Yeah, I actually don't know what the heat was for.
Saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital. right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
Murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude...
What are we looking for here? Okay. Before and during the morning announcement. Right up until the Monokuma announcement this morning, Mikon was with Hajime the whole time. Afterwards, she went to the hospital, checked on everyone, and realized... Okay, so Mikon has an alibi, so is that what we're supposed to use against the idea where she says no one has an alibi? Is that what we're supposed to do? What was the other one? I think Fuyuhigo's account was also a bullet. After they met in front of the hospital, they split up to search for Ibuki. That's after the announcement. So I think we're looking for Mikon's account.
The sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No, that's wrong!
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi.
Why can I not press X?
In fact, Mikon and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikon and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
Nagato.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Huh?
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process. Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
The killer had a different reason? If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Inside a trap set by one of us. If so, then whose, and what kind of trap is it? Oh, was that the checkpoint already? Wow, that was a fast checkpoint. That was only 55 minutes. Oh, I guess that's a reasonable sized checkpoint.
Hiya!
Stop it!
Crap. They don't have dialogue for that. Why, hello there, Monami. The moss balls sure look tasty today. Stop it! Don't characterize me as someone who lives off moss balls. Hello. And here's some chance time. Oh, what's that? Hello. Now then, Monami's appeal time starts now. Huh? Appeal time? Hello. Your kind-hearted big brother is gonna give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck! Show those jerks who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss! That's 99% your fault, hello. While you were whining, your time's already running out, so please make your appeals simple. About 30,000 words or so. That's too long, it'll just be a boring appeal, hello. Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be some merchandise opportunities heading your way. Oh, then. I'm Usami, magical miracle girl Usami. I'm an itty-bitty girl who's sweet like milk. Hello? Jeez, and I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
Who are you talking about? I have no clue whatsoever. Hello? Oh, is that also, Doraemon? Probably.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. Everyone, do your very best. Don't lose to yourself. And don't forget to...
Why won't you press X? Does something like that even exist?
Huh. It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing.
Man, this again.
If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect. So why didn't they do that?
Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that.
Seriously, just shut up already! Shut up forever!
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the content of the movie. About the lion that got killed second.
That's the one Hyoko's body was imitating, right?
Even though we're calling it an imitation, the lion was actually pinned by arrows, right? But Hyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape.
Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows.
Well, that's probably it, but that attitude is what makes this feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, they should have taken steps to properly imitate it.
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying, Hyoko's murder wasn't.
What?
Hyoko's murder wasn't planned?
I understand that imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions?
It's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange details? Like what?
Like, for example, why did Hiyoko go to the music venue?
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue?
So, you're saying the truth behind Hiyoko's murder is hidden?
I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say.
However, this is getting quite interesting. My 4 dark devas of destruction are getting riled up.
Why Hiyoko went to the music venue, if that's the key to all this. I need to find that out no matter the cost.
Why did Hiyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
That's right.
Or she was guided by the will of causality.
I need to kill first.
Why did Hiyoko go to the music? There's no way we'd...
Maybe the killer
If that's not... Maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
I agree with that.
I'm cutting out more now.
It's just as Sonia said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Hiyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
There's no way she got abducted?
Hiyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key.
I mean, unless
At the
you
time,
find
you were the
key.
one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that.
Sonia suggested that, huh? But Sonia is the one who told her to leave and accidentally got her killed, so not Sonia?
I won't lose! Are you saying my gut was wrong? This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you just let me shine already?
No! That's not the issue.
Shut up! Enough with your fancy talk. I'll shut you up right now. Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something.
A control stopped
The killer
working.
forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking, and that's why the killer targeted her.
No, what Akane is saying is real.
Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking, and that's why the killer targeted her.
I can't back down!
God, my controller is like not working. Just a little bit more time, I can draw something
Hiyoko
out
was
next time.
locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking, and that's why the killer targeted her.
But Hiyoko's room was locked. The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door. So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later.
There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she even had the key.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up.
Oop, that's not right. I got excited I saw text that I could interact with. Hyoko's kimono was all messed up. There should be no doubt about
Crap.
that. It's true, her kimono was messed up. I should have seen
Hold
that.
on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was... There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer!
Allow me to cut through those words!
The reason Hyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it.
Wear her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Hyoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was one of the reasons she locked herself in her room. That is why I informed her. I told her that there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she use it.
Then, the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer.
Yeah, she went to the venue on her own just to fix her messed up kimono.
I get it. I lost. Boil me, burn me, take off my clothes, do whatever you want to me.
Hajime, now's your chance. Make her admit defeat. Or better yet, make her do a little something something.
Then, the killer probably couldn't have assumed that Hyoko would go to the music venue.
Though that may not apply to Sonia, since she provided Hiyoko with that information.
Though I knew she would go there, there is no way I could have predicted when she would arrive.
Don't go doubting Miss Sonia, you cretin. I'll put you and your hamsters 6 feet under.
Kazuichi, it seems you have quite the fashion sense. Do you want me to incinerate your clothes? Perhaps I could do that while you're wearing them.
Gundam, please stop! For his sake!
Huh? What do you mean, for my sake?
Of course. I've already overlooked no less than 10 opportunities to kill you.
Even if the killer couldn't predict it, why did Hyoko get killed in the music venue?
The only thing I can think of is, it was an unfortunate coincidence.
Coincidence?
When she went to the venue by herself, she was probably just unlucky and walked in on the crime scene.
She was killed so there wouldn't be any loose ends?
It probably happened when the killer was preparing to kill Ibuki. The killer most likely had already placed the hemp bag over her head, and without hesitation,
killed Hyoko.
Because the killer used that coincidence for their crime, it made this case even trickier.
That's the reason they imitated the movie to falsify the murder sequence.
Which means that low-down scoundrel didn't plan on committing imitation murders at first.
Then what was the killer actually planning to do? They've been cunning this far. There's no way they'd kill Ibuki without a plan.
Do you have any ideas?
Damn, we don't know the most important part.
The killer's plan from the beginning. I'm pretty sure we're very, very close.
Hey Nagito, any ideas?
Hey, how long are you gonna stay quiet?
Oh, am I allowed to speak? I'm so happy I'm getting goosebumps! Everyone actually needs help from scum like me!
So what do you think?
I was thinking about it while I had my mouth shut. But now I'm finally able to come to a conclusion. Ibuki definitely didn't commit suicide.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I thought there might be a possibility that she faked her death and tampered with the crime scene. But now I remember. There was blood on Ibuki's slippers.
I thought we had already covered this.
So if she faked her death and walked around the music venue tampering with the crime scene, there'd be bloody footprints left in various places throughout the venue. So that's why I think there's no way she faked her death. There's no way Ibuki committed suicide.
You know, we already finished talking about that a while ago.
Huh? Really? That's annoying. I guess I should just awkwardly laugh about it then.
I mean, but there's... If it's Nagito saying this, I don't remember the exact that they want. Like, I remember who ultimately is the killer and the general motive. But so if Nagito is bringing this up, I feel like Nagito doesn't do this randomly. Like there's a sliver of information that he's trying to get us to go over. So what have we missed? Well, I guess we talked about how we talked about the bloody footprints in relation to the order of death, but not in relation to whether it was a suicide or a murder.
Are you freaking kidding me? There's no limit to how useless you can be!
No, wait a minute. If Ibuki had blood on her feet, there'd be footprints all over the place if she kept walking around.
That's strange. That's very strange.
This is strange? What's strange?
I see. It's not something we finished talking about. Those footprints, there's still an important clue left that we completely overlooked. Just as Nagito said, if she had blood on her feet, she would have left footprints. Then why weren't there any footprints on the... step ladder? Yeah, why weren't there footprints on the step ladder?
I can prove it with this! If Ibuki used the step ladder to hang herself, it's strange that there weren't any footprints on it.
Huh? There weren't?
Yeah, that step ladder was completely clean. No footprints or bloodstains at all.
You noticed such a small detail! How amazing! This is truly the talent of a chosen ultimate!
What are you talking about? You were obviously leading us to this. That's why you brought up the suicide topic after all this time. Oh, also, if you're gonna guess Hajime's ultimate talent, I think you probably should do it soon. I don't know when they... I think they don't really get into it until near the end of the game, but there's been a couple of hints, and there's gonna be some more hints, I think, coming up. Nagito Komaeda, you're definitely someone I shouldn't underestimate.
But didn't you say you saw that video of Ibuki climbing the stepladder? Then I think there's no doubt that she really did climb it.
Unless there was something funny about that video.
I see. So there was some kind of trick arranged in that video,
But that's something only Hajime would know, since he's the only one who saw that video.
So just as I thought, it comes down to that. The mystery surrounding this incident is contained in that video, and whether or not we can reach that hidden truth is all up to me.
Hajime, I leave it in your hands.
As long as I leave this to you, I won't tell you to do your best, but oh well. You should get started already.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
If there was some hidden clue in that video, I should have seen something strange as I watched it. I'm the only one who can clear that up. I'm the only one who actually saw that video. So I'm the only one who can do it. Ultimate nitpicker, maybe. Ultimate reliable guy. The hanging video that I saw, based on everything I know from the debates thus far, I should be able to figure out what's strange. Is it the candlelight? They didn't like the candlelight. Slippers. Was the stepladder, does it have a blue thing up the top? It doesn't show us. It's probably the candlelight. This part, based on what I saw in the video, this doesn't seem particularly strange. There should be something else, something strange that's clearly in the video. I guess the side doesn't have the blood on it.
Here!
That's right, I remember now. There was definitely something strange about that video.
Like photographic memory. No, his talent is memory.
Can you explain it to us?
What's strange is that stepladder I mentioned earlier. It's true that the steps of that stepladder weren't dirty, but on one side, there was a bloodstain, right on the left side of the stepladder. However, that contradicts the video I saw at the hospital. There weren't any bloodstains on the stepladder in the video. It was completely clean.
That is truly strange. If the video showed the moment of Ibuki's death, then Hiyoko should have already been dead by that point.
You cut out? Oh no. Side. I might call it in a little bit, because the audio is kind of being bad right now. And also, I want to do the Animal Crossing Halloween event. Even though I've already done it before, I just want to check in on it.
Even so, the fact is the stepladder had blood on it at the actual crime scene. But the stepladder in the video was completely bloodless.
And there's no way the video was recorded in advance. If that's the case, the only thing I can think of is...
It's possible those two stepladders were completely different.
Wait, are you saying there were two stepladders?
But where would you find another stepladder? There was only one stepladder in the music venue.
Then one of the stepladders was somewhere other than the music venue. What do you mean?
I think probably what I'll try to do... When are you in Seattle for? Because I think probably what I'll try to do is finish this chapter and then not chapter 4 since I'll be leaving. So I'll just finish this chapter before Wednesday. So depending on in Seattle and not, because I'm going back to the Bay on Thursday. Then I might just do it, and you can watch VOD later. Or if there is time in the next few days that you're free and want to do it, I can also do it then as well.
You're suggesting that the stepladder in the video isn't the only thing that's different. Am I right?
Tomorrow till midday Wednesday. Okay. I may, depending on what my work schedule is like this week, because this week and next week are going to be a little rough. I may just do it on my own if I find some time, or maybe like Wednesday late.
That's amazing, Chiaki! All that gaming has given you incredible deduction skills! Is it okay to say that?
What are you two talking about?
The stepladder isn't the only thing that's different, huh? Chiaki said that the stepladder was at a different place, but... if that's the case, the thing that's different between that video and the actual scene of the crime... Honestly, I should do Danganronpa cosplays and drag. Like, several, like, I feel like... Mikan would be pretty easy because it's just a nurse outfit. Who else would be? I feel like Peko could be fun. I just don't have the wig for Peko. Is that thing the place where the killer did something? Is it storage? Something. Storage. Here's the question, what's the difference? Oh, what's the difference between the video I saw and the actual S-T-A-G-E-D? No. Curtain. Curtain. I don't know if I've seen a C though. That I just guessed based on they keep giving me Fs. Fire. Okay, they keep giving me eyes. Oh god, I wanted to use the G. I think it's F-I-G-U-R-E-S, maybe? Figures? Oh, no, it's F-I-L. Film. Filming location?
Besides the stepladder, the filming location must have been different too.
What do you mean?
I mean, the video I saw was not filmed at the music venue. It was filmed somewhere else.
The hospital monitor's supposed to display footage captured by the music venue camera, you know?
Then, there's a possibility that the killer also tampered with the surveillance camera unit.
In order to show us that they filmed the video at the music venue instead of somewhere else, what did the killer do to the surveillance camera unit? Okay, after the next major breakthrough, which maybe will be this one, I think I'll call it. Which part of the surveillance camera unit did they tamper with? The camera! Oh my god, I didn't have time to read it. Or maybe it was both? Oh, okay. I'm getting a little dizzy. Did the killer tamper with the camera at the music venue or the hospital? Oh shit. They tampered with the camera on the other side. No, can I jump to the other side? I cried. My control What is wrong with the connection on these? It must be this house setup. I need you to do what I tell you to do. When I tell you to jump, I need you to jump. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Oh, I can slow down. Maybe I should slow down. Maybe, yeah, but... Oh, I ran out of time! Oh my god. It's no use, I can't go any longer, I don't have any other options. Everyone doubts me? Ah. Trial has come. Oh my god, my controller is long. Now then, Oh, well, I can totally imagine who the blackened will be. Boo-hoo! Boo, 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 boo. There we go. That's the anime voice. Ahem! By a majority vote, the one that bubble bubble Hajime he knocked up.
We will never give up.
Danganronpa V3 has Scrum Debate, which is one of my favorite minigames. It's not even necessarily that it's like, oh god. It's not that it's super fun or anything. It just Scrum Debate has great music. But basically, it's that it means everyone is split. The monitor. The cast is split on a question, and you have to match up. Oh shit! Oh god! Yeah, it was the camera. Why did I make the decision? Okay, I wasn't paying attention. So in Scrum Debate, the whole cast is split evenly on an issue, and you have to match up their contradictory statements together, and it's fun, and it has good music. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is... I don't even think we're at the part where we died last time. I'm gonna run out of time again. Oh wait, shit, no, it's the other one! Oh my god. Okay, well, wait, no, it is the music venue. God, we are just sucking. Oh my god, they took it with them. We don't have enough time. Wow, this is very bad. Okay.
We will never give up.
No silly mistakes. We tampered with the music venue. Slow. No! Oh my god. Oh my god, that was it. We could have made it. It's just also, this like hurts my eyes. Oh my god, fuck you! Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do you slide after? I hate this. I hate this so much. We're gonna have to do this again, and this is not even that hard. Okay, 45 seconds. They took it with them. 20 seconds. Oh my god, that was a disaster. Oh god.
It's all coming together!
Is it Hajime? Is it all coming together? Was it worth it?
That's it. The killer just brought the camera from the music venue. With it, they made me think it was a live feed from the venue, when it was actually from somewhere else.
Then only the monitor was left in the music venue?
Yes, at least when I first discovered Ibuki's body. But when Hyoko's body appeared, the killer probably put the camera back too.
That means you should have realized that from the start and made this easier on all of us.
Yeah, I like how the realization wasn't, hey, I didn't see a smashed camera on the floor. The realization was, hey, the step stool didn't have a tiny speck of blood on it that I clearly remember from my memory of the video.
He did discover the body. I doubt his attention was focused on the camera.
Well, that's true, but in order to hide that the camera was missing, the killer did one more thing to the remaining monitor.
The thing the killer did to the remaining monitor was... Oh god, I don't know.
I see!
Okay. That's what I was
The killer
thinking.
smashed the monitor to pieces, destroying it.
Why would this dude be in order to hide it?
As long as it was in pieces, you wouldn't be able to tell if the camera was actually there or not.
Oh,
my attention was so
see.
focused on the body that even I couldn't have noticed something like that.
And the moment Hajime left the music venue, the killer put back the camera they took.
And they destroyed it and left that in pieces as well.
It's easy to say it was filmed somewhere else, but the surveillance camera's connection wasn't that strong.
Someone was talking about needing to find a camera earlier. Hyoko, maybe?
Despite Kazuichi's desperate repair efforts, it seems it could not transmit from the hospital to the motel.
The fact that it was able to connect between the hospital and the music venue is amazing enough.
Which means, even if it was filmed in another place, as long as it was transmitting to the hospital, the range would be pretty limited. If that's the case, where was the video filmed to make it look like it was filmed at the music venue? The only possibility is that place inside that building. Okay, I think we're maybe coming up to a good place to stop. Oh, I should have saved that. Oh no, I needed that. Thank you. I'm gonna save this, hope nothing tries to hit it. Give me a C. Oh, that's close. That R would have hit it.
I got it!
Possible that it was filmed at the hospital's conference room.
Huh? Conference room?
But the hospital and the music venue look completely different.
That's exactly why the killer did something to make those two places resemble each other.
To make the conference room look like the music venue, the killer went ahead and did some work. I've got to make clear what that work was.
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
Or did they make some kind of set?
They might have tampered with the camera.
I still can't believe he mixed up the filming locations. Hajime, you're pretty stupid.
In order to make the hospital conference room resemble the music venue, what did the killer do? I should figure that out first.
There's no way and the music venue.
Which place resembled? Did the conference room look like the music venue?
Oh,
I knew it! So the killer tried to make the conference room look like the music venue. But that isn't proof. You won't be able to make the conference room look like the music venue with that.
Damn it!
looks like I made a mistake. Damn it, I need to think this over again.
There's no way the conference room. And the music venue looked the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
That must be it!
I don't like that.
What the killer did was...
The connection we're making is that the curtains were the same. It doesn't matter which curtain came first.
make the music venue, the crime scene, look like the conference room. They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the stage.
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain, but after the incident, it somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
That's right! It's so half-assed, just like Monami.
Oh yeah? Well, your face looks stupid.
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like the conference room?
In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out, it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. In the same color as the music venue stage. So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor matched.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence.
Something else the killer did to make the music venue look like a conference room? It's gotta be that.
I can prove it with this! You're referring to the candle in the music venue, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. But if you think about it, that's pretty strange. The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
Are we close? You're gonna leave me in suspense, lulz. Yeah, I think we're, like, we're not close to the end of the trial, but I think we're close to identifying a new suspect that everyone interrogates. So I'm trying to get to the point where we identify a suspect that everyone's gonna talk about, and then I will close it.
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence. The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... Are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided. The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime. It's occurring in the conference room.
I feel like I've heard Bayside Cops say that before, but isn't it the other way around?
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
Video was filmed at the conference room, but Ibuki's body was at the music venue, which means there was a fake somewhere. That fake must have been the Hiyoko, the Ibuki in the conference room.
I see! The person wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki. It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki. The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
So that's what happened. Quickly I ran, it was impossible for me to rescue it. That moment, already in the... And a trap for me was...
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
The reason the killer made a fake video... There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly...
Oh my god, just let me pick someone.
Then naturally, the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer is?
I know who the next suspect is. That's right, I should already know. I should have already known who the killer is. Wait, who do they want me to say?
You're the only one! Mika, you're the killer, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hiyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible? A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would probably kill her first.
Honestly, Akane is also you with Prolly.
She's right! A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's It's completely out of the question.
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Mikan have an alibi.
It's just a coincidence.
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room. Is that also a coincidence?
I said, damn it, Mikan, before you guess, I'm going to take that as a win. The other thing is that we're all taking Hajime's account on this just off of face value. No one has seen this video aside from him. No one can confirm whether it was a different stepladder or not. This very easily could just be Hajime throwing everyone off the scent. Shouldn't you get some rest already? You should be exhausted from nursing without any sleep, right?
Then, if you insist, I will use the call room upstairs. You must be mentally exhausted, so it's better if you relax in the lobby instead.
At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room. That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music venue. And showed that to me.
God, that was such a long, like...
Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane and I, were both delirious from the despair disease.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second. What are you saying? I'm the killer? That's impossible. There's no way I could kill someone.
It's not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
Just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick is really the killer?
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a
my God.
slow-witted woman.
That slow-witted remark is not necessary.
Thank you, Sonia.
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation. Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
Do you hate me that much, Hajime?
Hey, Hajime!
Everyone's ganging up on me. Tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this? Could it be I'm the one making a mistake? No, in fact, it'd be so much easier if I was wrong. If I have this much doubt about someone I've spent so much time with...
Can you hold on a minute?
Huh?
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Huh?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
What? Are you serious?
I've been so focused on everybody else this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it, right?
Wait, missed all the critical parts. Does Nagito have two different personalities?
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game.
Please don't say such controversial statements.
Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Dang! That's a huge deal!
A decisive clue? Does something like that really exist?
Let's take a look. Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling from, this rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed strongly. But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being frayed?
It means, well, from what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this. The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her. The center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Hold on. I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
So this rope won't be much of a clue. And I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too. Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking.
How is that a decisive clue?
Huh? You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Nagito's words contain a decisive clue? Is that really true? Also, I'm definitely going to finish this because I looked it up just to check a little bit ago, and I'm close to the end. So I'm just going to wrap
Ibuki
this
didn't
up.
die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
True cause of death of strangulation. Fact is the decisive proof that will lead to the killer. Is that true?
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem, the scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, and
it's someone's
obviously
lie.
we'd...
The Monokuma file, it never specified.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
I think it's AC unit with someone's lie.
Ibuki didn't die from it. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though
This is pointing
hanging and
out
strangling, the
Mikan
scars
did
they
the
leave.
autopsy.
Scars? You mean the rope burn?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
Nope.
Who's lying? Hajime, stop talking about things that don't make sense and explain it to me already.
Crap!
Did I make a mistake? Damn it, I need to think about my mind.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
Rope used for hanging. There's no doubt that... According to Mikon, there's no doubt that the cause of death was her hanging. Okay, yeah, so it's the rope used for hanging then. Oops.
That's basically the no hanging and strength. The scars they leave. Scars?
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
That must be it! So that's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time.
There's something I want to ask you. There's no doubt Ibuki's cause of death was being hanged by this rope, right?
Yes, she had no other external injuries, so there's no doubt she died from hanging herself.
I see. So Ibuki died by hanging herself.
You said Ibuki hanged herself, but that was a complete lie, wasn't it, Mikon?
That is... well...
You told us the wrong cause of death. You lied, didn't you?
You should have been able to tell the difference between hanging and strangling just by looking. You, Mikon, the ultimate nurse.
Please wait! First of all, I'm not a coroner, so I don't have the medical knowledge to identify injuries like that. That's why it's not my fault if I made a mistake.
You are right. And you have been a great help to us so far.
But even a drunk medical student can notice the difference between a hanging and strangulation.
I'm not taking her side or anything, but being clumsy and unskilled in this area could lead to a mistake.
He's totally right. I'm such a clumsy mess, and I got so careless.
Mikon nursed me till I got better. There's no way I'm gonna doubt her.
Don't you think her devotion to nursing is what helped her draw Ibuki to her death?
Huh?
And if not, her symptoms were still very serious and caused her to believe what anybody told her. It wouldn't surprise me if she willingly followed Mikon because she was nursing her.
So Mikon volunteered to nurse us? 'Cause she was planning to do this all along?
That's a little... Aren't you like the thief who suspects everyone else of being thieves?
I'm not a criminal. Mikon is. I mean, she's a killer, you know.
You got it all wrong. Please forgive me.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can forgive you. I just can't forgive this crime at all.
Forgiveness or not, we still have not decided if Mikon is the killer.
I see. You guys are kind. Well, if that's the choice everyone makes, then the only thing I can do is back off, I guess. But is that really okay? Is that everyone's hope?
You're friggin' annoying! If you keep talking, I'm seriously gonna beat you up!
But I'm really not the killer. There's no way I'm capable of killing someone.
Is that really true?
Stop it already! That's enough!
I can't stop! I don't want to do this either! Of course I don't want to do this! But I need to do this!
You doubt your friends?
That's not it! I suspect them because I want to believe them!
What the hell does that mean?
I don't think belief and doubt are necessarily opposites.
Huh?
I do doubt her, but I still want to believe her. Belief lies at the heart of that conflict. 'Cause if there's no room for doubt, then there's no reason to believe, is there?
Don't say deep stuff. I don't really get it.
If you want to believe in someone, you need to overcome doubt first. Belief without doubt is simply a lie.
Fine. Do whatever you want. I won't stop you anymore.
Huh? Is that all you can say? So in the end, you're all just a bunch of bullies, huh? Justifying your actions with fancy words. Making excuses for why it's not really your fault. Everyone always treats me like that. Always. It's all her fault. She's the one with the problem. I'm done with that! You hear me? I'm done!
don't worry. I'm joking.
Hey, Mikan.
It's not fair. It's not fair. 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 Why won't you forgive me? If you did something wrong, you'd forgive yourself right away. What did I do? Why won't anybody forgive me?
Is acting like this your strategy now? Well, this is annoying. Plus, to be honest, I've run out of ideas. How can we get you to admit it? That's the issue.
If we don't have any clues, why don't we have her give us some?
Huh?
I'm the same as Hajime. I don't want to doubt any of my friends, but still, the truth is one of us murdered 2 of our friends. That's why we gotta stick with this until the very end, so we can finally break these chains of despair.
Chiaki?
Hey, Mikan, can I ask you one last thing? If you're not the killer, then who fabricated that video Hajime watched?
Like I said, it obviously wasn't me.
Can you prove it?
Prove it? Wait. Do you have any proof that I'm the one who fabricated that video? That's right! Show me your proof! Because you're just assuming the video was filmed at the conference room. Treating me like a killer based on an assumption. Just because I was at the hospital. That's totally crazy! I didn't do anything wrong! Why does everybody always hate me? Please, just forgive me already!
Is this broad really okay? She's emotionally unstable.
I'm not the killer! That video... I never filmed that video!
It seems she finally started arguing for us.
Huh?
But the only one who can find the hole in her argument is you, Hajime.
I don't know, you're all placing a lot of faith in me. It could very easily be Hajime.
So, I'm going to leave this to you once again.
Just because I didn't know it was an imitation. Could it be? Was this Chiaki's goal all along? She's saying everyone's fate depends on me, the only person who saw that video.
Why do you get to decide I'm the killer? Where's your proof? Please, forgive me already!
I need to make up my mind. Ultimate hole finder. Oh, don't word it like that. I'm the one who has to do it. I'm the one who's going to finish this.
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
God, my controller stopped working for a little bit. This is going to be a disaster on the music one.
I'm not the killer!
Blood on the soles, rope used for hanging, Mikan's account. Let's see what Mikan's account is. Okay, blood... AC temperature. Motel room key.
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Surveillance camera unit, what's that? That doesn't seem like it's gonna help.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
Ooh, wait, just from that camera video.
There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type!
So she knows the camera
So
angle.
please forgive me already!
So would this be surveillance?
Hajime, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Although, if that's the case, I'm not the only one who can point out the mistake that she shouldn't know what the camera angle is.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on her? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clear.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown just from that video? Just from that camera angle?
What? What?
No, that's not her voice anymore.
What? What are you talking about? What you're saying makes no sense. How much longer are you going to treat me like the killer? It's about time you forgive me already.
Damn it!
No, that's not it. One more time. I need to think it over one more time.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly.
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me!
Hajime, pay close attention. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
Okay, I think I need first mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan.
Is that really? You could tell her body just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her... So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Huh? Is the hemp bag on? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have
Is that really your... You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle?
I'll shoot through that contradiction. Mikan, you've committed a major mistake.
Mistake?
As I said before many times, I'm the only one who saw that video.
What's wrong with that?
But I never said anything about the camera angle. So how can you say anything about the camera angle as if you saw that video yourself?
The only reason Mikan knew the camera angle Hajime had seen is because you're the person who actually filmed that video.
This is your just reward. The more desperately you argue, the deeper you dig yourself into a hole. You lied, didn't you?
Are you serious? Is it true, Mikan? Did you kill Hiyoko and Ibuki?
Forgive me! Huh? 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 I was wrong. Wrong. No, that's not it at all.
That's not it?
I mean, it's impossible.
Impossible?
You know that hemp bag Ibuki was wearing when she died? Try remembering the tote bag instead. Ding! I totally remember now.
What the heck's wrong with her? She's getting weirder by the minute.
That tote bag. Isn't it the same one that girl was wearing in the video?
How do you know so much about that video?
Who cares about that? More importantly, did you know that bag is a limited item that was sold at the movie theater? Hajime saw it too, didn't you? You remember the Usami decal on it, right? Whoopsie! Don't worry about it. I remember even if you don't. Ta-da! There's no mistake that that tote bag is a limited item.
I mean, you can clearly see decal is not in this large image.
So don't you think it's impossible?
Clause.
Using one tote bag in both the conference room and the music venue at the same time? It's blatantly obvious that that's impossible. Don't you think? That's why that video isn't fabricated, and I'm not the killer. So you'll forgive me, right?
Taking your stubbornness this far. Such despair.
Then you're gonna forgive me? I won't stop until you forgive me!
Panic Talk action. This is probably going to be my last job during class trial. Please humor me while I taint your ears one last time. Reload and ammo features will be added. You'll no longer be able to make do with just the X button below the temple mark. God, they're going to make this harder, and my controller's not working. One bullet to destroy one mark. When you're on a bullet, you won't be able to destroy the remarks no matter how much you mash the X button. Refreshed by... What, you and I both, you're in for a true despair. Okay.
Explaining it until you forgive me! That bag is a limited item! That's why that crime is impossible for anyone to pull off.
This chick, has she lost it for good?
Will you forgive me? You'll forgive me, right? Isn't that right? You're obviously gonna forgive me, right?
Alright, let's see how much of it is anywhere. I gotta do something and end this. I gotta do something. It.
You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me! Why only me? Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me? You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me! Why only me? Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me? You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me! Why only me? Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me!
Oh my god, my controller stopped working in the middle and I got so close. Okay.
We will never give up!
I think she wants you to forgive her. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Controller, I need you to stay connected this whole time.
You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me! Why only me? Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me? You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me! Why only me? Please, draw on me!
Oh, okay.
There's only one bag. It's impossible to use
Theater
it at
bonus
the same
prize.
time.
This is the end!
Okay, that time went much better. I think the other thing that I had to do was I needed to time my
mentioned this earlier.
When you buy one bag, you get another free. It's a common practice to bait customers with bonus prizes.
God, my Monokuma voice is
Whoever
bad
bought
today.
that bag should have received another one as a bonus prize. Which means it's not impossible to use that bag in 2 separate places. So please, just stop making desperate excuses.
Why? Why can't you forgive me? Why?
It seems her desperate struggle is finally coming to an end.
Why does everybody always hate me? You should just forgive me already!
Mikan, it's already over. After I go over your crime from the beginning and show that you have no arguments left, please just admit it already. In the end, at least let me believe in you.
God, this song is so good. Oh, this is a short one for how complicated this case is. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar. Put it back to normal after destroying it. This? Okay.
Here's everything that happened in this case.
That seems weird.
The key to this incident is the surveillance camera video that only I saw. That's why I'm going to start with that to unravel the knots of this crime. When I went to the hospital with Mikan this morning, I noticed a specific thing in the lobby. The incoming signal light on the surveillance monitor was blinking ahead of the scheduled time. When I switched on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a person wearing a hospital gown and a bag on their head about to hang themselves right at that moment. That surveillance camera unit was designed for two-way communication with the hospital and the music venue. That's why I thought the signal originated from the music venue, so I immediately headed over there. But that was the killer's trap. In truth, that video was recorded in a different place. The killer brought the music venue camera the night before and made their preparations in advance. And then, they filmed that video in the hospital conference room. By doing so, they tried to make me think the incident was happening in real time, when in fact, the crime had already been committed by that point. The person in the footage wearing the bag was actually the killer acting as a fake. I didn't know that, so I went to the music venue and found the hanged body wearing a bag on its head. Seeing the body before me, I panicked and rushed out of there to get the rest of you guys. But that was also part of the killer's trap. After cleaning the conference room, the killer was likely watching the music venue from outside. And, as if they were switching places with me, they went inside the music venue and began working on their last trick. First, the killer peeled off the wallpaper covering one of the stage pillars, revealing Hyoko's body. When I first arrived and saw the hanged body, I didn't notice anything strange about that pillar. I didn't expect it to be slightly larger from the wallpaper, or have Hyoko's body hidden inside. Next, the killer destroyed the surveillance camera that was used in the conference room. After destroying it, they mixed it with what was left of the surveillance monitor found at the crime scene. The surveillance camera the killer used was originally brought from the music venue, but when they brought it, they made sure to destroy its monitor beforehand. They wanted to hide the fact that the camera wasn't at the crime scene. In the end, the killer transformed the crime scene into a closed room. They broke one of the drumsticks from the storage room and placed it near the music venue's entrance. However, they did this to mislead us into believing that the music venue was locked from the inside. In actuality, the reason the music venue became a closed room was because of the glue. The killer sealed the door with glue and intentionally created a closed room that could be forced open. With that, the killer finished tampering with the crime scene and met up with Fuyuhiko and me. They helped us force open the music venue door, despite the fact that they personally sealed it. And they made us discover not just Ibuki's body, but Hyoko's suddenly present body as well. At the time, they pretended to be surprised, but inside, they were probably relieved that their plan worked out. Isn't that right, Mikan? This crime was orchestrated by you, wasn't it?
Whoa! Now she's laughing?
It's been such a long time. This feeling, I know it well. Like the floor is collapsing, like the sky is falling down upon you. This feeling of despair!
Mikan, you... What has happened to you?
Whoa there! Before that, a moment of your time.
God, the 2 points was definitely the surfing.
It seems your arguments have reached a conclusion, so let's proceed to our regularly scheduled voting time. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
She gets off to despair.
Let's go! Well now.
Oh god, I gotta do voices again, okay.
And now then, though it may be obvious at this point...
Correct!
You got it right once again! That's like 3 in a row. That's right. The true identity of the horrifying blackened who killed 2 girls was Mikan Sumiki.
Damn it.
You gotta be shitting me. Are you saying Mikan, the one who nurses back to health, was the one who killed them?
I won't forgive you.
Don't joke around with me, Mikan. Did you lie to us all along? Were you planning to kill them from the start while you were nursing them? Hey! Don't just laugh, say something. This is going nowhere.
What's going on?
This chick.
Hey.
This is nothing like Peko. She's actually gone mental.
Well, that's obvious.
There's nothing we can do. She's no longer the same person. She's no longer the Mikan Tsumiki we knew. Huh?
Hey.
Based on my predictions, she too. Oh god, am I cutting out? She probably had the despair, which was the motive for this case.
What?
God, I'm cutting out a lot. I know, because I was looking at Mikan for so long. She was the one taking care of me, after all. My consciousness kept drifting, but even so, when I did catch a glimpse of her, her expression was full of despair. A despair so devoid of hope that not even a single fragment of it remained. Hold on, did you say Mikan also had the despair disease? Then that means she was...
What?
Huh? Hajime, has something crossed your mind? My body's heavy. No, not just heavy, it's somewhat soft and really hot. That's right, Mikan felt really hot at that time. Now that I think about it, that must have been a high fever, just like what Ibuki and Akane had.
It cannot be!
Then, because of that disease, Mikan was...
Perhaps...
The symptoms that she surely felt must have been deserving of the name despair disease. Losing all hope and harboring despair for all hope. Because of the despair disease, she was likely overcome with despair.
See?
That's the reason why she can still laugh in such a hopeless situation.
Jeez.
Which means the Mikan standing before us is no longer the ultimate nurse. She's a completely different person now that she's infected by the despair disease.
Isn't that right?
She's a human who deserves to be called the ultimate despair. Ultimate despair? That's the reason why I cannot forgive this. I mean, killing someone for the sake of despair instead of for the sake of hope.
Possible.
There's no way I can forgive this. Monokuma fucking up everything fair about this again, such BS. For the sake of despair? That's completely wrong.
Huh?
Wrong? Wrong? What's wrong?
What I did was for the sake of my beloved.
Huh? Huh?
Who are you talking about?
If only they were still alive, they'd be so happy. I know.
My beloved was the only one. That's right. The only one who never hated me. They forgave my existence. They forgave me and accepted me. They gave me value. They loved me. I loved them with all my heart, and they returned it in full. This is my reciprocation.
I understand that I've done something unforgivable. But you know, to transcend that all is truly...
It's love.
What love is all about.
Hey.
I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand? Is it because you don't have anyone to love? Is it because you're also someone who isn't accepted by anyone? What a pity. I feel sorry for you.
Well?
Even if I say this, I'm sure nobody here would understand, but... love is a wonderful thing. This feeling of freedom when you no longer care about anything. My beloved and I are the only ones within that thin veil, and I'm just looking out through it. That's why, as long as I'm on the inside, no matter how much they tease me, splash me with water, kick me...
how amazing!
It's like nothing matters. I could just die, that's how little it matters. Who cares about hope or despair? It's love, only love.
Could it be?
Nagito,
Is this really the despair disease you were talking about?
God, everyone talking in this theme is breathy.
It seems that I was wrong. Not only was she affected by despair. You were half right. It's right to say that this is all thanks to that disease. Because, thanks to that disease, I was able to remember my beloved.
Remember?
Apparently that's what my symptom was. Huh. What a wonderful symptom.
Which means you had the remembering disease?
But
if that means she remembered something and ended up like this...
Such despair.
Are you saying you were like this from the start? Were you like this before you even came to this island? Don't get so angry. Well, first of all, the reason I became like this wasn't my fault. It was all your fault, you know. Because it's not like I'm entirely responsible for turning out like this. I'm the person I am today because of many human relationships. So, it's everybody's fault I turned out like this, you see? Even so, most strongly influenced by my beloved existence. And it was also my beloved who created the me that everyone can't forgive. But my beloved still forgives me and still accepts me. That is the key difference between all of you and my beloved.
Don't fuck with me!
Like I said, what the fuck are you talking about?
Are you saying this is Mikan? She's the real Mikan? Mikan, please answer me. Did you really remember? You ended up like this all because you remember? There's no way I can believe that. There's no way the person you are right now is the real Mikan.
Oh, you still doubt me? And to prove I remember, I'll tell you all something nice. It's about that World Ender organization that you all were worrying about.
You serious?
You know? Not know. I just remembered, that's all. I knew about it all along, how that horrifying organization known as World Ender is also the organization known as the Future Foundation.
Future Foundation? Future? That's right, that symbol on the ancient ruins door.
That's right.
It was the Japanese word for future.
Hey, just what is the Future Foundation? What are they planning? As the name suggests, that organization is the World Ender. The Future Foundation is trying to end our world. To put it simply, they're trying to claim the world for themselves.
This is bad.
What the heck? This isn't a comic book, you know. As part of their plan to end the world, the Future Foundation brought us to this island. Isn't that right, Monami?
Huh? I knew it. Monami, Monokuma, they're both members of that crazy organization, aren't they? Monami and I aren't members.
I am Monokuma!
My existence is entirely my own.
Hey,
Don't laugh. Hey, Mikan, if you really do remember, then you already know, right? You know the true identity of the traitor hiding among us. Of course I know that. Let's see. The Future Foundation lackey that's hiding among you all is... Oh well, no one really cares about that, don't you think?
Of course not!
Hell no! You'll find out eventually, so there's no need to be so impatient. Probably when that countdown ends.
Countdown? You even know about that?
Oh?
I don't know anything.
Huh?
I have a feeling that's what it is, but who cares about that, you know? I'm drowning in so much love. From the bottom of my heart, I just don't care about anyone or anything.
That is...
Mikan, is this really you?
I won't believe it. This is too much breath. There's no way I can believe you were all like this all along. Because if that's true, then who's the person we've been spending time with up until now?
The past.
Past?
That person, she didn't exist in the beginning. She's just my past self who lost her school memories. You guys consider that thing a friend.
Oh?
That doesn't make me happy at all. It just fills me with despair. You guys accepted my past self, but not my present self. That's...
Well?
That applies to you all as well. Memories of people, memories of events, whatever memory it is, losing memories are...
Do you understand?
Like losing your personal identity. Memory is the most important component in building a person, don't you think? Losing our memories makes us shadows of the past, don't you think?
Hey.
I don't know what you're trying to say, but in the end, it always leads back to that story. That story about our stolen school lives.
Hey!
So it's true all along. Our memories were taken away.
Damn it!
If it wasn't true, we wouldn't be suffering this much.
Well, why don't you take sweet time and remember at your own pace?
Oh?
Oh, Monokuma, is it all right for you to start now?
Yes, indeed.
Punishment time?
Damn it, why? Mikan, why does it have to end like this? This is too pointless. This is too much.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For the ultimate nurse, Mikan Tsumiki.
So it's over. It's really... Now I can go to my beloved, who always forgives me. I can finally see them. Please forgive me, the one who's going to die with the hope of finally seeing you.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
It's finished. Is it really finished? The killer who killed Ibuki Miyoda and Hiyoko Saionji was Mikan Tsumiki. I feel like that execution was a little tame, all things considered, and not super themed with her. I mean, like there's the syringe, but I feel like it would have been better to just like inject her with 100 needles of poison or something. I feel like that seems more thematic. And she's been executed. She apparently committed her crime because she was afflicted by the despair disease. So what? What's finished? Nobody wanted it to end this way. Yeah, I mean, I guess logically it would still be pretty terrible because she's like burning up in the atmosphere, but we don't really see it. And not that I really want to... I mean, I trust Danganronpa to not be that graphic because they don't usually show... Like, it's always cartoony. So I feel like they could show a way of her, like, burning up in the atmosphere that we got to see more, but also wasn't, like, too explicit. But even in that case, I feel like that's not themed enough to her. At least have her be riding a giant syringe or something. I don't know.
Let me ask.
Who was that Mikan from earlier? Was that her true form? Or is that itself a symptom of the despair disease?
Damn it!
It doesn't matter either way. If she ended up like that just from remembering, then all along Mikan was never worth being a symbol of hope.
But...
even if her words were influenced by the despair disease, if the disease turned her into that. If she lost herself to a simple disease,
She was definitely unworthy of being a symbol of hope.
Isn't that right?
So let's just move on. Come on, let's take all this despair and change it into hope.
Please wait!
That is impossible. I mean, I thought we were friends this whole time, but even so... Like a house of cards collapsing in an instant. In the end, our friend we thought we knew ended up showing us a completely different side of herself. Then she vanished from our sight, leaving behind only her malice toward us. And now, there's no way we can just move on or try to have a clear-cut attitude about these feelings. That's clearly impossible.
Damn it!
It would have been so much easier if she was the traitor, too.
Wrong.
Too bad. That's not the case. Mikan was not the traitor.
Come on.
The traitor is still alive. As proof, see how fine Monami looks right now. I'm not fine at all, hello? But if the traitor died, you wouldn't be this calm, right? I mean, you're both pawns of the Future Foundation, so you guys are like two hearts beating as one, right?
You fiend.
What does that make you, fiend? You didn't say that you're different than Monami.
Phew.
Who cares what I am? More important, I'm tired. The drama just kept going and going. I didn't even have time to eat my black bean right eye during the break.
Hey!
Your white eye is made out of black beans? Hello?
Hey!
Wait, now's not the time to focus on that. What are you trying to say? Hello?
Hey,
You know, isn't it said that life has its ups and downs? It's fun because downs come after ups. But if life was full of downs, wouldn't it get boring? So, in order to help you guys feel better, I've prepared a special event. Special event? Head over to the First Island's beach. An old friend will be waiting there. Old friend?
Huh?
Could it be Nekomaru?
Hey!
Is it? It is, isn't it? Nekomaru was safe after all?
Safe? How should I say this?
I knew it. I knew that crazy bastard Nekomaru would come back to us in one piece. Awesome. We're starting to see the light of hope. The light of hope? I am happy Nekomaru is returning to us, but I...
So just as I thought.
3 of our friends just died, so I honestly cannot be happy.
Miss Sonia?
However...
Even so, I am still happy if Nekomaru is safe. I'm truly happy.
Fine.
If you are happy, you should honestly greet him with open arms. Perhaps those who have been taken from us would do the same if they still lived.
Supreme Overlord of Who Gives a Shit. That line doesn't suit you at all.
Silence.
I shall crush you into dust.
Ibuki, Hyoko, Mikan, can you hear us? If you are unhappy, I apologize. However, please forgive me for right now. I want to warmly welcome Nekomaru when he returns to us.
You don't have to worry, Sonia. I'm sure your feelings are reaching them.
Right?
Then let's all go greet Nekomaru. Let's make it grand, even for those who have died. What the heck? Do I still have the after effects of that disease? I don't get this at all.
Akane?
All right!
Alrighty then, let's go! Yeah, you're right. Nekomaru's coming back. When we heard that, we were unable to contain our excitement and we jumped into the elevator.
Uh-oh.
Man, they just ran off without listening to what I had to say.
Unbelievable.
Jeez, they're so impatient. Didn't they learn to stick around until others finished talking? What does that mean? Hello?
Hey!
You're plotting something again, aren't you?
No way!
Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm not plotting anything. I was just trying to properly explain everything to them. Including Nekomaru's body.
Nekomaru's body? Whoa.
It's their fault for not sticking around until I finished talking. So, So, if something happens because of that, I bear no responsibility. What did you do to Nekomaru? Hello?
What's this?
What did I do? I just saved him, that's all. I mean, if I didn't do that, there's no way I could have saved someone who was that close to death. So, it just couldn't be helped.
As soon as we exited the elevator, we started running. Hurry, to the beach on the first island.
All right!
Let's haul ass. Let's haul ass. Even though our minds were completely exhausted, strangely enough, our bodies felt light. Without stopping for anything, we kept running on right on the first island. Where in the world is Nekomaru?
Hey!
Hey, Nekomaru, show yourself!
Listen!
We've come to pick you up. Please hurry up and come out of hiding.
We raised our voices. We looked around the area. We raised our voices again. We looked around the area again. We raised our voices for a third time. We looked around the area for a third time. And so on and so forth, we kept looking for him. But...
Hey!
What the hell, man? He's nowhere to be found.
Damn it!
Could it be? Did we get false info from Monokuma again? And that's when it happened. We heard a familiar voice echo throughout the beach.
What happened? Were y'all looking for me?
Could it be?
That voice.
With high hopes in our hearts, we turned toward the direction of the voice. And then we saw something truly unbelievable. Is this going to be a... Maybe this will be a cliffhanger and you'll have to wait like 4 weeks before you get the reveal.
Huh? What the?
Yo! I've kept you waiting. Hey, what's going on? Perhaps you don't remember my face since we haven't seen each other in a while. That's pretty sad, you know? That's too much!
Who are you?
Huh? You too? What's going on? If you're messing with me, I'll stop doing it to you.
Nekomaru? Haven't you noticed it yourself?
What do you mean, noticed? Oh, you mean this body? This is nothing! The name's Nekomaru Nidai! I've been reborn in the rivers of hell!
It's Nekomaru.
Rangandonpa.
Wow, so the first part of the trial was an hour, and the second part of the trial was an hour and 49. That was not in the middle. Let me just double check. I always check to make sure it's saved. Okay, we're good. Alright, I'm gonna call it there for today, and I think I will just take a break until I get back from Austin. Maybe I'll bring my PS4 to the Bay with me, because my parents might want to play something while I'm there, and then if that's the case, then maybe I'll also stream from San Jose. So maybe it'll just be like 2 weeks while I'm in Austin, and I'll pick up Chapter 4 in San Jose. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I love Nekomaru. I think he's so cute.